Stepping into your feminine energy after dominantly using your masculine energy for so long will never take away your power. If anything, it teaches you how to utilize power that you've always had within you. You just never knew how to actually bring it out. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to do that. Let's get into it. Hey, it's your girl Jess, and welcome back to my channel. I am the owner of Divine Soulistics. I am your life coach and somatic healer that helps you do the inner work that's going to manifest your dream reality, help you become the best version of yourself, change your mindset for the better, and simultaneously tap into your sexy feminine energy. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 practical ways you can start using your feminine energy and actually start tapping into it. Take this from someone who, growing up in my childhood and even when I was a teenager, I was dominantly in my masculine energy. Now, I preface every video by saying that there is nothing wrong with using your masculine energy. All of us actually have both. Think of yin and yang. We need both to be whole. And so if we are constantly 100% in our feminine energy, we don't have that masculine energy to actually execute those ideas and that creativity that we have into fruition and into life. Whereas if we are 100% in our masculine energy, maybe we don't have a strong intuition, maybe we're not creative, or we don't give ourselves time to rest. And so you need that balance. Some days you'll show up with 80% feminine energy and 20% masculine energy. Sometimes you'll be 50-50. It really depends on the day, the situation, the circumstance, and even the people or person you are speaking with. But nonetheless, if you feel as though you have dominantly been in your masculine energy for so long, I promise you these practical ways are going to help you. When I was growing up in my childhood and my teenage years, I definitely had to be in my masculine energy, dominantly use it, and I would never change my upbringing for the world. I absolutely love the woman that I am today. I love my family. I love everyone around me who has shaped me and pushed me to where I am today. And of course, it definitely taught me independence and drive, but I always lacked that ability to create from a place where it didn't feel like work. Right? Like everything just felt like a task that I had to do or get something done. I never really gave myself that chance to actually just sit with myself and decide what I wanted to do or show up in that moment. And I think especially in today's society, we are constantly, as women, we are almost being pushed in our masculine energy. And it's not to say that masculine energy is bad. Like I said, we need it in order to be whole. But sometimes we are in our masculine energy when that's not really who we feel like we are to the core. That's not really how we want to show up. And something that I learned through my journey for the past few years of going into my feminine energy is that learning how to start showing up in your feminine energy instead of your masculine energy in certain situations doesn't take away your strength or your power. It doesn't take away your ability to be motivated to accomplish things or your drive or your ambition. It's allowing you to actually have all of those same attributes and qualities, but show up and use them in different ways to approach situations and circumstances and people in different ways, but still have that same passion and ambition and love and drive that you have. So like I stated at the beginning of this video, we are never taking your power away when we are stepping into our feminine energy. Yes, feminine energy can be soft, but it's also very powerful. There's strength in your vulnerability. There's strength in your emotions. And so when you're able to tap into that balance, you realize that there's a whole other side of you that doesn't diminish that masculine energy of your ambition and your drive. It only brings it out even more in a new and beautiful way. So the first practical way that I started actually implementing my feminine energy, and one that I know is going to help you as well, is allowing. releasing control. Ooh, it's so, so important to release control in life in general, but especially when we are trying to show up now in our feminine energy. Masculine energy, I want you to look at it as no gender specific because it's energy and everyone has both. Masculine energy is more when we are in our heads and our logical minds. It's the doer, the goer, the pursuer. It's getting things done. It's checking things off your to-do list. Whereas feminine energy is the creative side. It's your intuition. It's the receiver and the allower. Keyword allower, right? The whole embodiment of feminine energy is being in the present moment. And we cannot be present if we are constantly thinking about the past, if we are worrying about the future. I spoke about this in my last video. When we are in the past and the future, we cannot be in the present moment. Therefore, we take ourselves out of our feminine energy and into our masculine logical mind, which is that thinking. And sometimes that thinking leads to overthinking, right? So allowing was such a big thing that was really hard for me at the beginning, right? This was a few years ago when I started to enter my 20s and I was like, you know what? I want to show up differently. I know I can have everything that I desire and still be, the woman that I am, but I want to approach this in a different way. I want to actually be who I am at my core, not just, react to everything the way that I've always been reacting my entire life. And so when I started to allow, it made such a huge difference. Now you're like, Jess, how can I allow? What does that mean? Releasing control, It feels scary at the beginning because you want everything to go your way. But I'll tell you a secret. When you are trying to control everything, you put yourself in lack. You put yourself in scarcity energy. And not only does that take you away from being in the present moment of your feminine energy, but it also stops you from being able to manifest anything because you are constantly trying to control, mold, and shape a certain outcome or a certain person or a conversation instead of just actually leaning back and allowing. And so when you feel like you have to control, you put yourself in scarcity and lack because you tell yourself or you tell the universe, it has to go this way, otherwise it can't happen at all. And that's why I know for a fact that manifestation and feminine energy, it is all connected. And that's why in my videos, you'll see that I speak about everything that I speak about on this channel: inner work, masculine and feminine energy, manifestation, mindset, because it really all ties in together. So when we learn to release that control, what does that look like? I'll show you some little ways that actually I started to implement allowing in my life, and they're not big or drastic changes at all. It was little things such as when someone gave me a compliment, I said thank you, and I allowed them to give me a compliment. Instead of maybe feeling like I had to give them one back, maybe shying away and thinking that I didn't deserve that compliment, telling them, oh, no, and, you brushing it off in a way, right? I started saying thank you, yes, thank you. And that was something that, even though it sounds very small, and maybe that's normal for you and you're like, why wouldn't I say thank you to a compliment? Sometimes something as little as that, as accepting, as allowing, right? Because it translates to allowing and accepting. When you say no thank you to the compliment, you're blocking it from allowing and being receptive of that beautiful energy. Whereas when you say thank you, and you accept it, you put yourself in that allowing energy. You don't put an expectation on now trying to be the compliment that they gave you. You just know that you already are. And your energy shines so much that they also see that as well. Something like allowing someone to hold a door open for you. And instead of, running to the door, oh my gosh, thank you so much, you just keep your pace. Okay, you don't make them like stand there for like so long and like hold the door and you're walking at like turtle speed. But you know, you just keep your pace and you allow them to hold the door for you. Instead of like, oh no, it's okay, close the door, it's fine, I'm gonna take a while. Just thank you, right? Saying thank you is such a big way of accepting and allowing that type of energy to come to you. Even let's say someone offers to, you know, buy you something or pay for something. Let's say you're out with a friend and they want to cover the bill for you and they want to treat you. You can either feel like, oh my gosh, now I owe them. Now next time, you know, I go out, I have to buy them this, and this, or no, I'm not worthy of someone treating me. No, it's too expensive. Just, wow, thank you so much. That's really generous. Thank you. And allowing that, even help, okay? Especially, oh my goodness, when you're in your masculine energy for so long, dominantly, you do not need help from anyone and anything, okay? You know that you got your own and, you know, you can just do anything that you want, which is true, but there's nothing wrong with allowing help. There's nothing wrong with allowing someone to share their opinion. And you don't actually have to do anything with it. You don't have to control what they think or what they say or the decisions that they want to make. You just listen and you accept. If you feel like it's something that is not, you know, important to you or is like a huge drastic change to your life, where you can accept their decision or their idea or opinion, thank you. Obviously, if it's something that's, you know, a little more drastic, that you're like, whoa, let's talk about this, obviously do that, okay? I'm not just saying to just sit there and say yes to everything, but when there's certain things that you don't have to control, when there's certain things that you can allow and accept, that's when you set yourself free of control. That's when you allow yourself to be open and receptive of a beautiful, beautiful energy that you have always been worthy of. You just maybe were blocking it because you thought, I'm good, I can hold my own. I don't need anything from anyone. It's not about needing anything from anyone. You should never need anything from anyone or need someone. But being able to accept, being able to allow, knowing that maybe I don't need this, but it's nice to accept. It's nice to want this or have this. That feels really good. I don't need it, but thank you. And accepting it, it allows you to start tapping into your feminine energy because you're releasing that control. You're releasing those tight grips on the outcome or showing up a certain way or caring about what other people think or denying yourself of things that you're worthy of, such as compliments or being treated out or just being treated with respect in general. And so when you're allowing yourself to be that beautiful energy that you've always been and accepting that energy from others as well. The next way to start implementing your feminine energy in a practical way, and something that I did as well, was implementing fun at least once every single day. Now, when you are dominantly in your masculine energy, your schedule is full. I don't know about anyone else. I feel like it's very common, but I would even time frame like relaxing. I'd be like, okay, Jess, like you're only allowed to lay on the bed until like 10:15. And then at 10:15, the next hour you're spending, you got to do this. And then the next hour after that, like I would time block things during my day that didn't even need to be time blocked. Okay. And of course, you know, being organized is good, but when you are holding yourself to a certain standard, you're not allowing any room for any play or any fun. I was once working 3 jobs because money was something that was a very big limiting belief that I took lots of inner work to do to actually change my relationship with money that stemmed from my childhood. And that was something that was, I believe anyway, really pushing me in my masculine energy because I never felt like I had enough. I always felt like I needed to do instead of just being, right? Instead of just trying to do so many things just to, you know, chase the bag. I wouldn't give myself any time to actually just be and accept and receive. So yeah, I had 3 jobs at one point. I always made sure I was busy. In general, I don't like to just sit around and do nothing. But when I finally do, and I'm learning to throughout this journey of entering feminine energy in a more, you know, beautiful approach, you learn how to actually relax without putting a time frame on it. Or you learn how to still have a schedule if that feels good, you need that foundation, but you give yourself time without actually timing yourself to have fun and to play. Even when you have a busy schedule, finding ways to just smile and be happy, even through situations that maybe have stressed you out in the past, find ways to implement that fun within your day. Just once. It could literally be 5 minutes if you still need that time frame. It can literally be 5 minutes of just having fun. Something that really, really helped me find fun, because I feel like, you know, as you get older and you mature, it's like, who the heck has time for fun? Like, I got this to do, and I really was just sick of feeling like I wasn't having fun. I wanted to find ways to implement fun, but still have, you know, a schedule, or still, you know, have a busy day, but still enjoy it at the same time. So what I started to do was finding things that really just fed my inner child. Things that I loved to do when I was a little girl. So what I did was I wrote down a list, and I want you to do this as well. Write down a list of everything you loved to do when you were a little kid. It could be drawing. It could, for me, I loved going to the park and going on the swings. Okay, like something about the swings really, really like just feeds my inner child. It makes me feel like a little girl. It makes me feel so happy. I used to love to draw. I used to love to dance. I'm a singer, so I love to sing in general always, but that was something that I loved since I was a little girl. To this day I do. So that's something that, you know, I put on my list. I used to love going ice skating, like figure skating. I used to love swimming. Anything that you can think of, I want you to write on this list what you loved to do when you were a kid. Maybe you have 1 thing on the list. Maybe you have 10 things on the list. I know you can think of at least 1 thing. So put that 1 thing on the list if that's the only thing you can think of, and find ways to implement that at least once a day. Find something that maybe you loved to watch. Maybe it was a TV show or your favorite movie from when you were a kid. Maybe it was a favorite song that you loved to listen to. Put some time aside without, you know, timing how long you spend doing it, and find that time for yourself to implement fun in your day. Maybe, you know, you find that after you get home from work, instead of scrolling on TikTok, okay, maybe I can use this time to, you know, do what Jess said and implement that fun into my schedule before I go to sleep. Maybe you have a time block throughout the day and you're like, you know what, instead of sitting here and, you know, doing nothing or going over the same thing that I've been going over in my head for the past 10 minutes, let me try to implement some fun. What would my inner child love to do right now if they were with me right now, or if they were here right now? What would they love to do right now? And just give yourself that time to do it. I promise you, the reason it brings out that feminine energy is because you're playing and you're having fun. Feminine energy, yes, it can be soft, and yes, it can be powerful, but it can also be fun. It can also be playful, okay? There's so many different aspects of masculine and feminine energy. There's not just one specific definition. And when you start playing around with different types of energies within your masculine energy, but especially for the sake of this video, in your feminine energy, you learn that there's so many different attributes and qualities that will be brought out within you when you start playing around with your feminine energy. So yeah, think of ways that, you know, your inner child loved to show up, things that you loved to do as a child, And, just ask yourself right here in this moment, what can I do to kind of bring that inner child out right now? What can I do to play and have fun right now? Anything that just brings a smile on your face or makes you laugh. It doesn't even have to be anything physical. It can just be something that heightens your energy and heightens your mood. When we do this, we start playing, we start showing up in brighter and happier energy. And not only are we able to show up in our feminine energy because we're having fun, we're being playful, we're being charming, but it allows us to receive better because we are simultaneously raising your vibration, raising your frequency. Whereas now, maybe before you were sitting at an energy down here, maybe you were at work doing your work, you took those 5 minutes to kind of raise your energy up and bring more fun into your day. And maybe now your energy is up here. And you'll notice that as soon as you start raising your frequency, other people around you will start treating you differently. You will start attracting different things because like attracts like, okay? I know I'm getting into my manifestation now, but it's so true. When you are on that same frequency and vibration, you are now attracting that different reality. Whereas maybe when you are down here and your boss is just, giving you all these projects that you have to do, you raise your vibration and maybe now your boss, gives you a compliment. Wow, you did really good on that last project. And you're like, what is going on? It's because you raised your frequency, you raised your vibration, and simultaneously started tapping into your feminine energy all at the same time. You can do this any area of your life. I'm giving work as an example, but your relationships, your job, your career, self in general, utilize a way to find fun and play throughout your day and see what miracles start to happen. The third practical way to start stepping into your feminine energy is releasing guilt and shame. Now, this is something that I definitely experienced a lot of, and I'm sure you can relate as well. When you are, in your hyper masculine energy, that's your dominant energy for so long, and you are starting to, enter your feminine energy approach to life and to yourself in general, feelings of guilt and shame start to come up. And I truly believe that it's because we just never gave ourselves that chance to actually relax without feeling like we're wasting time or we're being lazy or we're not being, motivated to do things. And I said this at the beginning of the video and I'll say it again. I don't ever think feminine energy takes away from your ambition or your power. I think that you can still receive and go after and achieve anything that you desire in this lifetime, still using your feminine energy. I just think that masculine energy and feminine energy, they're just different approaches to your desire, to your circumstances. But I don't believe that one is better than the other or one is right and one is wrong. I feel like when we are in our masculine energy, yeah, you get things done, like you go after what you want and it feels really, really good. You get that adrenaline, that dopamine rush. But approaching things in your feminine energy can still look like passion and ambition, just approaching it differently. You can still receive and accept and allow things without having to go into burnout, without having to push yourself or put yourself down if you're not doing what you said you were going to do that day. You can still receive and allow and go after the things that you want to do in your feminine energy. Even though feminine energy is more about leaning back and receiving and allowing, you can still, and I use the term go after, but I don't mean physically, go after your desires through your mind, through your heart, through your intuition, of having that mental image, right? I speak about visualization so much when you're manifesting. Having that mental image using your subconscious mind, which is known as the feminine energy mind, of that visualization of the outcome that you desire. Using your heart to feel the emotions of what it feels like to receive and be and do and have. Using your intuition to know that it is yours, right? It is mine. It is already mine. I am, right? The power of the statement, I am. That's what I mean when I say going after your desires using your feminine energy. Whereas masculine energy is the physical, your feminine energy is the body, it's within. It's the intuition, it's the emotions, it's the subconscious mind. And so you will still receive the exact same things, if not better, because you're not controlling as much when you're in your masculine energy. You're still going to receive all of the beautiful things that you desire, because the bottom line is that you're worthy of it. So you can either receive what you want feeling shameful and guilty and burnt out and overworked, or you can receive it knowing that you were worthy of it the entire time, right? There's, of course, different ways to use your masculine energy to achieve and be ambitious, right? There's always healed masculine and feminine energy, and then unhealed masculine and feminine energy. Healed masculine energy, going after what you desire, can look like knowing when to take breaks and not putting guilt or shame on yourself, but still physically achieving things. Whereas feminine energy is loving taking breaks, because you know that that is your time for creating more ideas that your masculine energy can then execute out physically, okay? So when we feel emotions of shame and guilt, we sometimes don't allow ourselves to even process these emotions, right? And that's why I'm so passionate about somatic healing and nervous system regulation, because when we are dominantly in our masculine energy, we sometimes, and I experience this, but I would just push through. I would give myself a to-do list, and I would put expectations of when I had to achieve them, how much I had to do within a day. And if I didn't achieve what I wanted, I would put myself down. I would feel guilty. And when I started to be like, you know what, I want to approach this differently. I know I can still have these things, but what if I kind of approach them in a different way? And I started really leaning into giving myself time to relax, giving myself time to intuitively decide even what video to make, instead of, you know, I have to make this video and force myself to talk about something that in the moment I'm not passionate about. It's like giving yourself that ability to relax, looking at maybe your emotions of shame and guilt and transmuting them into strength, into the ability to listen to my body and give myself what I need, and intuitively feel when it's right to do something and when I feel like I just need to rest in that moment, and still be able to receive and achieve. It can be as little as, let's say, and I've done this before, I've made a to-do list for myself. Maybe a few years ago, if I didn't finish everything on my to-do list, I would be really, really down on myself. Whereas now, today, I'll make a to-do list, and even if I didn't complete everything on that to-do list, I wouldn't belittle things that I did that day. I wouldn't measure them in importance of how big that task was that I finished. Even if it was something as small as ordering something that I need for my business, or maybe events that I'm doing in the future, I would still congratulate myself on, you know what, I took that step of ordering whatever I needed for the next event that I'm doing. Instead of being like, that's all you did? No, that was a big step for me. And so when you continuously do this work, you'll see, okay, shame and guilt is coming up. How can I transmute this into congratulating myself of still being able to show up for myself? How can I love on myself so that I'm not putting myself down? How can I embrace this difference of achieving my goal and still make myself feel like I'm worthy of what I just accomplished? Because you are. It doesn't matter how big or small the steps you are doing or taking to get to where you want to go. The point is that you're taking steps. And whether it's a huge stride or a little space in front of you, you took that step. You are worthy of taking that step of accepting and receiving what you deserve and what you desire. Congratulate yourself, right? I think there's beauty in forgiveness. And I think that was a big thing as well. when it comes to releasing certain emotions, forgiveness is a big thing. Forgiveness to yourself for ever making yourself feel shameful or guilty or putting yourself down. And even forgiveness of others who you maybe felt put you in your masculine energy for so long. And forgiving them, you know, writing a letter and then ripping up the letter, looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I forgive you. I love you. You did what you felt like you had to do in that moment. I understand that maybe you're feeling shameful or guilty right now, but I promise you, you are worthy of everything that you desire. I'm so proud of you, right? Little things like that go a long way, okay? So take those small steps, release those feelings of guilt and shame, because I promise you, you are worthy. Once you start utilizing these practical ways to start actually embodying your feminine energy as yourself, something that I started doing that I think is going to really help you as well is I now started implementing these 3 practical ways of releasing guilt and shame and implementing fun into each area of my life. So let's say there was a job opportunity that I really wanted. Instead of sitting there and feeling nervous and hoping and wishing, I'd be like, okay, how can I allow this job opportunity to come into my life? How can I have fun with, you know, this opportunity that I desire or that I know I'm worthy of? And how can I release shame and guilt around it? Maybe when it comes to relationships, or, you know, maybe you want to start a business. How can you use these 3 practical ways to now be put onto different areas of your life? So now that you've embodied it, use them onto different circumstances. I promise you, you will have so much inner work breakthrough. You will literally collapse time. Like things that you thought were going to take years for you to accomplish, you will do them right on the spot, right? There is no time when it comes to manifesting or showing up as the version of yourself that you desire. When you decide in that moment to show up that way, that's what's going to happen. I always ask out loud when I speak out loud to the universe, I say, instead of showing me what I need to do right now, please show me how I need to be right now. Because there's a huge difference between doing and being. And it really, really takes you out of that control and allows you to just be in the present moment. And when you ask for a sign, it will always be given, okay? So don't overlook those angel numbers. Don't overlook that, you know, that bunny you keep seeing everywhere. Search up what the meanings are, because I promise you they mean something, okay? And this is just going to help you start showing up so much more in your feminine energy. And I hope it taught you how to love on your masculine energy as well, because we truthfully need the balance. Thank you so much for joining me today. I had so much fun making this video, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. Let me know in the comments what your favorite practical way of stepping into your feminine energy was. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. If deeper inner work is something that you are ready for, make sure you check out @DivineSolistics.com. I highly recommend my coaching for you. I have the nervous system reset. If learning how to regulate your emotions and your nervous system is something that you are interested in, and I have the exact manifestation blueprint that is going to help you get from A to B, okay? So I highly recommend those to you if you are looking to do more inner work. Thank you so much once again. It's gonna be all linked in the description below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you are definitely missing out. I'll see you in the next one.